to 3764 Elvis Presley Boulevard. Hit it, Elvis. You got it.
Welcome back to another edition of Elvis Back on Tour. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to combine the remaining cities of our recent Texas tour into one video. We've already released videos on Dallas and El Paso, so today we will take you along as we document Fort Worth, Abilene, Odessa, and Amarillo. Sadly, the buildings Elvis performed at in San Antonio, Austin, and Lubbock are long gone.
We'll begin in Fort Worth, where Elvis would perform in 1972, 74, and 76, doing a total of 7 shows before a total of 98,122 fans.
The following interviews were conducted during Elvis's 4 shows here in 1974. We were able to line up the exact locations, and as you will see, it looks pretty much the same.
I certainly am. I just really do enjoy his music and enjoy looking at him, too.
How long have you been an Elvis fan?
I was too young for the Frank Sinatra phase and too old for the Elvis Presley phase, but I'm still enjoying Elvis Presley.
I've seen him twice before, and I'm going to see him today and tomorrow.
Wow, that's a lot. You must really like him.
Yeah.
How long have you been an Elvis fan?
Oh, about 15 years.
Fort Worth was yet another example of how Elvis is forever memorialized with a pictorial tribute to his attendance record of 56,128 fans during 4 shows in June of 1974.
These pictures and videos do not do justice and do not show the true magnitude of how big this building really was.
We want to thank the director of the Fort Worth Convention Center, Blake Mormon, for his time and hospitality during our stay in Fort Worth. While on tour in June of 1972, Elvis stayed at the Sheraton Hotel. Sadly, this is also where President Kennedy stayed the night before his assassination. A beautiful park now pays tribute to the legacy of President Kennedy and memorializes a speech he gave just minutes before leaving for Dallas. In 1974, Elvis stayed at the Collar Green Oaks Inn at 6901 West Freeway. The building is gone, and an office building now occupies the space. Here's a photo of Elvis leaving for his afternoon show on June 16, 1974.
We then drove 150 miles to Abilene for our next tour.
The Ector County Coliseum in Abilene is among the smallest venues Elvis performed in. 7,500 fans attended his only show in this building on March 27, 1977. Elvis also performed in Abilene on October 9, 1974, but that was at the Expo Center. Our schedule did not allow time to tour that building. As you can see, the Coliseum was undergoing a major renovation during our tour, but the area where Elvis entered the building is still very much intact. We were extremely fortunate that we arrived prior to the complete gutting of the interior of the Coliseum, so most of what we saw is what Elvis saw in 1977. Most of the structure behind the stage still remains, allowing us to line up some then and now photos. This is the door Elvis would have walked through to gain access to the stage. Through this door is the dressing room Elvis used prior to taking the stage. We want to thank General Manager Rochelle Johnson for her kindness and an informative tour of the Coliseum. And also a big thank you to Eric Eastland of the Lee Lewis Construction Company for the time he spent with us discussing interesting construction details of the Coliseum. Something we found very interesting is that the Coliseum was built on an abandoned airfield. Proof of that was found during renovation when the floor of the Coliseum was cut, revealing sections of the old runway.
Our next stop was 172 miles away in Odessa. After a 3.5-hour drive, we arrived at the Ector County Coliseum. The Ector County Coliseum was built in 1954 with a capacity of 7,400. Elvis only performed here twice on May 30th, 1976. Each show had just under 8,000 paid admissions, which shows how much they packed in the building for his performances. During our tour, we were given a great deal of access to areas such as the garage door that Elvis arrived at and his dressing room. With the building being virtually unchanged since Elvis performed there, it was very easy and enjoyable to line up Elvis's walk up to the stage. We'd like to thank Aaron Martin for giving us a wonderful tour of the Coliseum and for providing Coliseum concert records. Some of you may have seen photos of Elvis leaving his hotel in Odessa before his show. Today it is now a retirement home. We were able to match a few lineups of the back door area, but due to COVID health concerns with the elderly and out of respect for the residents, we chose not to tour the inside.
The next stop on our tour was one of our favorite places, Amarillo. Elvis performed in this building twice, once on June 19, 1974, and once on March 24, 1977. In speaking with Coliseum officials, they explained that the route that Elvis would have taken to enter the Coliseum has remained unchanged.
Elvis's limo would have entered through this door and Elvis would have been led up the stairs to the backstage area. Thanks to the Texas Archives, we were able to find this great footage of Elvis's 1974 Amarillo performance.
Oh, see right. Oh, see what you have done. Oh, see right. Oh, see what you have done. Well, I'm going away, baby, and I won't be back here for. Well, I'm going away, baby, and I won't be back here for. I'll find me a good girl, I won't be back here. What I say. Well, I'm going away, baby, and I won't be back here for. I'm going away, baby, and I won't be back here for. If I find me a good girl, I won't be back here.
Amarillo provided us with numerous lineups of Elvis on stage.
Oh, see what you have done. Oh, that's see. Easy right. Oh, see what you have done. Girl, you made me love you, but now you know what I say. I said, see right. I said, see right. I said, see right. Give me two. Three. 4. I said, see right. I said, see.
As always, we want to thank Assistant Director Han Owens of the Amarillo Civic Center for coming in on her day off to give us a tour of the building. We were able to locate the Howard Johnsons used by all show personnel. It's at I-40 and Tree Anchor Boulevard. It's not a Howard Johnson's anymore, and it's seen better days. The Hilton that Elvis used was just around the corner at 7909 East Access Road, but it was demolished years ago.
On our trips, we always try to eat at local restaurants. Going into Amarillo, we heard of a place called the Big Texan. It is known for its 72-ounce steak dinner with salad, fries, and more. The challenge is to eat the full dinner in an hour. If you succeed, it's free. If you fail, it's $72. While we were there was a man attempting the challenge. He failed. The Big Texan had great food, gifts, a live rattlesnake, and a great atmosphere. So if you ever are in or around Amarillo, stop by the Big Texan. We hope you all enjoyed our remaining cities in Texas. Be sure to check out our Dallas, Lubbock, and El Paso videos. As you all know, this isn't just a passion for us. This is our way of saying thank you to Elvis for giving everything he had to entertain the world. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram as we give updates on upcoming videos and more.